Hey, this is David Miller, your local market expert with the Miller Road Group of Keller Williams Realty. And I wanted to, as we get close to the end of the year, I wanted to share with you my predictions for our local real estate market here in Orlando for 2018. And I think you're going to like what you're going to hear. So let's talk about the national stuff that we can't really control. Let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates, I expect them to continue to rise in 2018. But not too bad. It's probably going to end up at around 4.5 or maybe even 5. And really that's not going to affect the demand too much. If we were to hit over 6%, then I think that would really affect the demand and that would have buyers back out. But at the 4.55, I think we're going to be fine. So from a national perspective, that's where the interest rates are probably going to end for 2018, and it's not going to affect our market too much. Now, if we think about what's happening in our market, inventory is still very low right now. Actually, if we go back 2 years, we are 25% lower than we were 2 years ago in December, which is crazy because back when the market peaked in 2006 and it started to go back down, the inventory went up and up and up and up, and it went as high as 26,000 homes. Now, when the market finally turned and pricing started to improve, it was mainly because there wasn't a lot of homes out there to look at. It was very, very low, about 2.5 months of supply. So the inventory started to go up again, but it never really went as high as it did before. And the main reason is because we still have high demand. And that demand is from the low interest rates that are really allowing buyers to afford more than they could before. So I do expect that the inventory in Metro Orlando to stay low for a couple of reasons. First of all, new construction is still not where it needs to be. It may start affecting it near the second half of the year, but the cost for land acquisition is very high, and because of that, the builders are really building these homes that are large, and they're not for the first-time home buyers. The other thing is that sellers know that the inventory is low, and they're not going to sell their house before they find a house that they like. So in that type of scenario, it's sort of like one domino has to fall before the other. That is the mindset. There are properties out there. You have to be partnered with the right agent to find them, but that's going to allow the inventory to stay low. And the third thing is that a lot of the baby boomers who are expected to downsize into something smaller aren't doing it as much as was expected. So when baby boomers do that, that allows more inventory on resales, and since the new construction is down, that would have provided more inventory. So because of those reasons, I expect inventory to stay low through the rest of 2018. Now that's good news for sellers, okay? So for sellers, that means that you have leverage to be able to, get a good price for your house. Of course, it does have to appraise and get it sold in a fairly short period of time. Now, from a buyer perspective, makes it a little bit more difficult on finding a house that you're looking for. That doesn't mean you can't find anything. There are over 8,200 homes on the market, but you got to be working with the right folks who can find the houses before they hit the market, and more importantly, get to the house first before they go under contract with somebody else. Okay? Now, demand. I expect increased demand within Orlando and Florida in general. And the main reason is that with the new tax plan, a lot of these states such as New York and California that have high property taxes, the folks that own properties there are not going to be able to write them off as they did before. So if you take high property taxes, the incapability to write off as much as you could, and the wicked weather that they have up there, what better reason than to move down to Florida? So I think that the demand is going to stay high because the interest rates are low. I think the tax plan is going to really steer more people to states that do not have a state income tax such as Florida, and I think that's going to be a plus for everybody involved here in Florida. The other thing is that the sales. I expect sales to continue to sell as many homes as can be sold. The biggest hindrance is the inventory. With the inventory staying low, there's not as many homes to sell. If the builders start building more homes and the baby boomers start selling their homes, then that's going to allow more inventory and more sales to occur. But what we're really seeing that's restricting the sales is that there's just not as many homes that are available on the market. I do expect that to continue throughout 2018. Maybe near the end of the year, we might see a little adjustment as the inventory starts to increase at that time. Lastly, appreciation. What's going to affect my house? So with inventory being low, with demand still being high, we're still going to see positive appreciation through the end of 2018. That's great news for everybody. Now, I know that we are not in a bubble right now, so there's no need to worry about that. We have very sound numbers that support the type of activity we're seeing in our marketplace. For example, unemployment is the lowest it's been in 17 years. Wage growth is starting to finally catch up to appreciation. So as long as we keep that, that's going to keep the affordability in line. As long as people have jobs, as long as people can afford to buy new properties, the real estate market in Orlando is going to stay hot. So those are my predictions. I have it on tape. This time next year, we can go back and take a look and see if I was right or wrong. We'll find out. But if you need our help with anything, if you're thinking about selling your house at the beginning of the year, give us a call. We'll be glad to meet with you and let you know what we can do to help you get your house sold for top dollar in a short period of time. Hope you have a happy new year. Be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks.